Welcome to a special edition of Lounging with Lee. It's your boy Leethal Laks. I got Marquise Goodwin with me today. And we're going to talk about motivation, how he got to where he at. So stay tuned. Going on, bro? Appreciate you taking the time to come holler at me today. So we gonna get started. So my first question I ask you, how's life growing up in Lubbock, man?
Life growing up in Lubbock, it was a little rough, man. We grew up on the east side of Lubbock, which is where the ghettos are, more of the low poverty areas, and it's real tough. But I had both my parents at the time. My mom and my dad were together, married, and at the time, I only had two younger sisters. One of them disabled, and now I have three younger sisters, and my mom is single now, living in Dallas.
And they say everybody has a why, like why they do what they do. And so what role, I know you talk about your sister a lot in past interviews, but what role did your sister and your whole family play in your success and motivating you to get to where you at today?
Man, my sister played a very significant role in my success, man. Without her, I probably wouldn't have been, where I am right now, or have reached, the plateau that I've been on, or accomplished a lot of things that I have, and I give a lot of credit to her. She's definitely motivated me to get up out the bed each day and continue to strive for greatness, and do whatever everything that I can do to be successful. As far as the physical is concerned, she's never walked a day in her life, and probably never will. But that's definitely a motivation, a driving force for me to get up, not be lazy, not really get complacent in my everyday work ethic, just continue to strive and do better.
How was life that first NFL game when you first stepped on the field and touched that ball? Was it a dramatic difference from college and high school? Was it because you reached that platform that millions of people try to get to, but not everybody make it?
Man, it was a surreal moment for me to be able to accomplish the things that I had personally set out to do. You know what I mean? You coming up from the hood, or suburb, or wherever you're from, and it's a lot of people that strive to do the same things in life. A lot of people out there grinding just like you are. Putting in a lot of hours, a lot of time, and a lot of effort. It's not necessarily the same outcome. So for me to be able to beat the odds, coming from low poverty, Section 8 housing, from WIC and food stamps, all this governmental assistance, and then being able to reach such a level of being in the NFL, being in one of the elite, it's just a blessing.
And Ken did a blog not too long ago on the site and talked about how one person can change the world. And he talked about focusing on yourself and your goals and different things you have to do to get to where you're trying to go. Like he used to in the NBA, for example, about how you got to work so hard every day as a kid and growing up to really get to that point. How do you feel about what he said about focusing? Like you got to eliminate some people out of your life and get more positive people in your life, and how did that affect you?
Man, I really believe, I agree with what he said, I believe that everybody has a specific season in your life, people play significant roles in your life, and some people aren't meant to stay in your life for your whole life, you know what I mean? I've had people who've come and gone, people who've helped me along the way, and then when I got to where I am, they weren't there anymore. Not because it's my decision, that's just the way that, life worked for whatever reason. And it's gonna be a lot of people that you have to get rid of, a lot of people that you won't be able to hang out with like you used to, or a lot of people that you won't even be able to function with. Same goes for family, and that's the price of ambition. That's the price of being successful. Is a lot of people won't make it with you.
And going back to Lubbock, how did you choose to go to UT over being a Red Raider growing up in Lubbock?
Man, really, it was a no-brainer for me because in Lubbock, to me, it wasn't a lot of opportunity. And I knew I always had a vision in my mind where I would be if I were to stay in Lubbock. Probably wouldn't be where I am today. And you know, just getting out of Lubbock was a huge opportunity for me. You know, I got a lot of homies who even went to Tech and still in Lubbock, Texas. You know, and they don't have a broad vision of what it's like to live outside of 806. You know, it's just like, oh, you know, this is all that's here. Texas Tech is the only thing they look forward to, and then what do you do after you get out of Tech? You know what I mean? A lot of people still living their lost. And so, you know, coming to UT to give me an opportunity to meet new people, be on a different surface, you know, in a different city, you know, engaging in different activities. And so, it was a great opportunity for me and my family.
And not only did you make it to the biggest platform in football, you made it to the biggest platform in track and field also. Like, how does that feel? Like, you got somewhere to two places that a lot of people can't get to, and how do you balance that out?
Man, really, it's just responsibility with your time, man, and appreciating the little time that you do have with significant people in your life. You know, I've been pulled a lot of ways. Keenan can tell you, anybody can tell you that's really close to me. You know, time is hard, and I don't have a lot of time, and so, you know, really just have to balance it all and be able to balance it and really come to terms with, oh yeah, I will not have a lot of time to do a lot of things that I really want to do. Even if you make time for certain stuff, it just won't work out like you set out for it to happen.
And what is the, I guess we'll say the thing, you know, a lot of people, we have certain people who do something for them and make us feel good to where we can, like, I really did this for this person. I seen that your NFL game was the first game your sister went to. How does it feel to make her dream come true, to see that?
See, a lot of people don't understand, like, it ain't just my dream. You know what I mean? I didn't do this just for me. Because if it was up to me, man, I wouldn't be playing no sports. I'd be trying to have my own corporation or something where I don't even have to work out. You know what I mean? But, you know, it makes my sister happy to be able to, you know, when she was in high school, she go to school and everybody all over, oh, because, you know, your brother Marquise Goodwin, you know, you his sister, you know, he love you, you know, and now, you know, we'll walk through the airport, like we were in the airport in Atlanta, and more people noticed her than they noticed me. Oh, you were on the show, you know, and she was just excited, you know what I mean? I do that, you know, just to see the smile on her face and, you know, just to see her happy, and as well as my other family members, you know, to where they can, you know, be like, oh yeah, he doing this for us, not just for him, you know, he putting us out there too.
Do you have to, with you being so busy, do you have to deal with a lot of people complaining about you not spending time? Because a lot of times, like, even myself personally, now that we at the level we've gotten to, and we got ways to go, nowhere near where you at. And a lot of people complain about, now that we here, we too good to kick it with them and do this and do that, but it's not really that. Yeah, we set this goal and reach this goal, but we have 20 more we trying to get to, so it's hard to spend time with everybody. Like, do you have to deal with a lot of that, you being where you at, people, he acting funny now, he can't talk to us, but not knowing what you dealing with, like, you really working and got things to do?
Man, and I get chills thinking about it, you know, because in the beginning of when I first started in the NFL and everything, a lot of people didn't understand. But the people that you see me around now, they understand the grind and they understand what, you know, I'm limited on time. I'm limited on a lot of things. And so, you know, again, Keenan can tell you, man, there's a lot of people that pull me from every direction. But the people who understand the grind are the people who are in my circle, because they understand that I won't be able to have time to do this and that sometimes, and sometimes I might, you know what I mean? Sometimes we can go out to eat and we can hang out and we can go do things that we used to do. But, you know, only the people who understand how much time I don't have are the people who are around now.
Do you remember the biggest hurdle you had to get over to get to where you at today with the NFL and the Olympics, and just even going to college and moving away from home?
The biggest hurdle I had to get over was really being separated from my family But most of all, the passing of my grandfather. He passed away July 20th, 2005. You know, he was a big motivating force for me, man. He financially he was there. Physically he was at every game. You know, he lived 7 hours away. Out, you know, when we moved to Dallas, and he would still make drives every weekend, come to football games. You know, I'm in middle school at this time. You know, just starting high school. He would make those drives. He'd come to every track meet. You know, he was always very supportive. And so, you know, when he passed, it was, you know, something tough to deal with, but, you know, got over it and had to face some other things.
And with all the success you have, I know a lot of times when you get to certain places, you still need motivation to keep pushing. I know you got your family and your sister in particular you talk about a lot. What else, or who else do you look for motivation? Or even like me personally, every Monday I watch ET videos. I don't know if you know about ET, but every Monday I watch ET videos. So they kind of help me keep going. Do you have anybody else or anything else that you need for motivation, even though you're at where you at and you motivate other people, but you still need that motivation yourself?
It's funny, man. I'm really motivated by my parents, man. You know, my dad was incarcerated for 2 years. He was falsely convicted. And, you know, my mom, she a single parent. Her and my dad split up in 2001. So, you know, she's basically a single parent from then on. You know, my dad being incarcerated and everything. And so, you know, then my dad is out now, and my mom is very supportive of him, and they support each other, which I think is cool. They're really good friends, you know, and they hold it down for each other still. You know, that really motivates me, you know, just to see everybody happy, my family happy, and doing the things that we need to do to work towards everybody being successful, not just me being on this level and everybody, you know, right here. Just try to bring everybody up, and everybody trying to get the mindset of, oh yeah, well, he did it, I can do it too, you know what I mean? So that's really my motivation right there.
The Adidas contract you turned down. You was offered this contract because you had the fastest combine time, where you could tell people, I have this contract because I was the fastest out there, nobody could beat me. Mm-hmm. What made you turn that down knowing you got it because you was the fastest person?
Really my loyalty to Nike. The year before, I had competed as a Nike athlete in the Olympics. Then I went to the combine the next year in 2013, and you know, they gave me an opportunity to represent Adidas after being the fastest guy that year in the combine. And so really my loyalty to Nike, and plus they didn't want to pay me that much. So that definitely played a big role in it. But yeah, more so my loyalty to Nike.
And with all your success in sports and different sports, what do you feel is your biggest achievement right now in sports that you've achieved so far?
In sports, I would have to say track and field, being an Olympian, man, really being on both platforms. A lot of people would choose football over track, but man, making that Olympic team was so hard, and performing on that stage was even harder, you know, and it meant a lot to compete with the USA across my chest. Sounds cliche, but it's true, man. You just get a different feeling when you put that red, white, and blue on, as opposed to, you know, I got drafted, yeah, I got the money, I got to play in the NFL. You know, I've never been to a Super Bowl, played in one. So, you know, I can't really say that football is better because I've never been in a Super Bowl situation, but, you know, until then, being an Olympian definitely supersedes being in the NFL.
Do you have any like sayings or mottos that you live by daily?
A motto that I live by is the reward will last longer than the pain. You know, a lot of people forget that. A lot of people don't want to feel the burn or the hurt that they have to feel, you know, whether it be in sports, relationships, friendships, anything, you know. You have to let something go, you have to hold on to something, you have to work hard for something. You know, a lot of people just thinking about the now instead of thinking about, you know, where I'll be if I do make this decision, you know, how far will it propel me? You know, a lot of people tend to lose sight of that, so, you know, I live by that motto.
And earlier you speak about business, that if you could, you'll be having a business somewhere. And I know it's still early in your career, but is there anything outside of sports when you're done with that you want to go into, or any ideas you have that you feel you're going to work on while you're in sports, so when this is done you can go into that?
Yeah, one thing I'm about to do is write a book pretty soon, and then eventually I'll venture off into working with kids, and then but what I want to do after sports is I want to like be on ESPN or have my own show or something like that, to where I can tell people the truth about situations and not really allow a lot of lies that go on in certain industries. Just be one of the guys that start something different. This is the truth. Whether it be in sports, whether it be talking about politics, just something that shows everybody, what the truth is.
And what would be your ultimate achievement in life right now? Well, not right now, just period, because you've done so much already at your age. So what would be that one thing that you're like, I did it, or had that thing already? I mean, but you've been in NFL and Olympian, it probably already happened, but what is that one thing you're like, man, this it right here?
Man, this will amuse a lot of people, but it don't have nothing to do with sports, man. I've accomplished being a football player, being a track and field athlete. One thing that I haven't accomplished that I'm ready to do that will make my life is get married and have some kids.
That's real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that'll be the end all be all for me.
And we know you into kicks real strong too, so what would be the top 5 kicks in your closet right now?
Top 5 kicks in my closet: fragment ones, just Don twos, my Third Coast Custom threes, my LeBron Boutons made by Mosh, and my custom Buffalo Bills sixes.
That's a good top 5 right now. And before we leave, is there anything that you could tell kids, grown folks, anybody out there that's really trying to chase a dream and get somewhere in life? Because it's the percentage of people getting to really where they want to be is not really big, and then a lot of people get close and they give up because there's so many hurdles and roadblocks you got to go through. So with you being successful, what can you tell somebody else to keep them pushing and keep them going to reach their goals?
Never lose sight of your goals. Don't be afraid to have ambition. Don't be afraid to fail. Can't be afraid to fail, because I failed at plenty of things. You can't be scared to take that next step. That's where the faith come in. Never lose sight of who you are. Continue to strive for things that you want to do. Be respectful, be responsible, know what you're getting yourself into, educate yourself on everything. If it's something that you want to do, educate yourself on it. Make sure that it's something that you want to do, that you know you want to do it, and that you're not getting yourself into anything crazy or anything that's detrimental to you or your family. And strive for greatness, be great.
I appreciate you taking the time out to come holler at me. Appreciate Keenan for setting it up and running the camera. I'm saying good luck with this season and everything else you got going on. I just appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule to come holler at me.
Anytime.
And we see y'all next time on Lounging with Lee.
And back once again is Marquise Goodwin to return for Buffalo, and he'll take it out of the end zone. And he sprints to the open field, and he's got running room. Look at Goodwin go.
Yo, we been doing this way before them, homie. You know what I'm saying? We built this shit from the ground up, you dig? They don't know everything we had to sacrifice to get here. They don't know. This is a Migraine Records Bougie Boy promotion.
I don't ever wanna struggle, that's why I won't quit it.
That's why I won't quit it. No.
I'ma hustle till I bleed, I must admit it.
I must admit it.
I'ma stack racks on racks to a million.
To a million, you know it.
I'ma rise real high and put on from a city, that's why I get it.
That's why I get it.
That's why
sacrifice to get here. Y'all don't know what we been through. Yo, talk to him. Talk to him.
You ain't never met a nigga like me. My whole team just like me. A bunch of young niggas with a lot of cheese. Levi's nice kicks in a white tee. Still yelling, no, I be the king.
This is Daddy Chloe, and you are tuned into the Lee and the Ken show. You already know what time it is. I be in the building. Houston, what's up? Detroit, what's up, building? Let's go.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Elle Varner, and you're tuned into the Lee and Ken show.
Yo, and that's how I be the black boy. I got the soul of a hustler, the mind of a grinder. I hung with the trap boys. I've seen more keys than a Mac boy. Got more balls than a bat boy. My grain be the gang with me. And bougie boys, yeah, they came with me. A couple girls wanna train with me. I pull a mic at